You know, if you mix it with Red Bull, it's even worse.
Damn.
This is for you. You're welcome.
Don't even.
Serena.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know this beat, it's your girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Love Island USA Season 6, Episode 24, and let's get right into the video. Like, the only thing that I would have to say that can summarize this episode would be movie night. Movie night needs to get here ASAP, because the things that transpired in this episode, this just transpired. Let's get into it. So first and foremost, you know, after recoupling everything, you know, OG girls, they walked off. And then, you know, you got the Casa Amor girls basically saying, oh, are the girls just like that? They're like, is that always like that? Da-da-da-da. Like, they all get feeling some type of way when their dudes that they were coupled up with treated them dirty. Like, what, they're gonna be a kumbaya? Like, they're gonna welcome them with open arms? Like, what's tea? Like, come on now. Like, you upset? And the thing is that the OG girls all directed their, you know, anger and upset at the guys. They never once came at the girls one time. So I don't understand how it's all, those girls are mean, they're so mean, they're unwelcoming. Like, they all directed their anger, their upset at the guys. When they came in, it's, oh, you guys had a time. It was to the guys, because they came back with somebody from Casa Amor. So I'm confused why they feeling some type of way. Like, each and every one of them girls feeling some type of way, which is just like, what? You should feel some type of way towards the guys who brought you back, not the villa girls, the guys that got you back. Each and every one of those guys basically stand up there and basically was like, you know, they kind of regretted their decision in that moment. Miguel literally told, you know, Leah straight up that he's gonna get to know both of them. You know, you got Kenny saying that his connection was strong with Janae. Kordell, he wasn't even confident in his decision to bring back Dia. You know what I'm saying? And then I guess Rob and Daniela, like, I'm confused how Daniela feels some type of way. They were just wondering how you went from Aaron to Rob. Like, that's what they were running, but you feel a step away about that, which is confusing. So the first chat, you know, of the night was between Aaron and KylerB. And, you know, KylerB, she listened to Aaron, what he had to say, and he definitely downplayed the activities of Casa Amor, which is very, like, movie night is going to get him. Like, when KylerB sees movie night, she's going to be distraught, because he just said, oh, couple, he cuddled her, and, you know, they had a couple of pecks. That was his word. A couple of kisses, couple of pecks, whatever. If she sees it on the Jumbotron that he actually kissed her in that little back and forth that they saw, I'm confused why they cut that part off the video, because that was very crucial. Like, them cutting that part off the video but showing basically everything that Kordell and Dia was doing is kind of like you should have just showed everything that Aaron was doing, because Aaron was kissing girl in bed. He was kissing girl outside of the bed, like kissing girl every 5 seconds, making her breakfast, doing up handshakes. Like, if KylerB sees that, yo, that's about to be distraught. But she basically forgave him. You know, obviously he has to work for it, but she basically was just like, yeah, we're cool. In the same span of the Casa Amor recoupling, she didn't even let it sleep for a night. Basically forgives him after the conversation, gave him a hug, basically on the Aaron train within that same night, which is just like, you didn't even let anything simmer. You took him back in the same night, which is just confusing. I will say that Aaron's basically the villa brother, because he basically, you know, Janae, she went off because she was saying that she was gonna leave. Like, I had to tune into this episode because I wanted to know if my girl Janae is still not villa or not, because she can't be going out that villa, nah. So, you know, she was crying and they were comforting her, and then Aaron just walked over. Yeah, so she was crying and they were comforting her, and then the girls were comforting her, Aaron just walks over to Janae, gives her a big hug, and was like, you know, Aaron really riding for his sister Janae, like that's his sister. Serena said she was not talking to Kordell at all. She wasn't talking to Kordell. You know, Nicole and Kendall, they had their chat, and you know, Kendall trying to, you know, he trying to secure the bag, he trying to secure the win. And I'm just like, not if any of these couples make their rounds back to each other. We finally get this Janae and Kenny conversation, and tell me why this conversation was a telenovela, because she asked Kenny, like, why did you bring her back? If you said, like, I asked you at the fire pit that you said that the connection between me and you was stronger, why did you bring her back? And he was like, oh, because I have a spark, da 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 da. And you know, she just like, you know what, I'm not gonna fight for a guy. You know, I took L after L with Coy, with Connor, like, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm not gonna fight for a guy, da da da.
Spark with her,
Okay,
right?
then go explore that spark.
Did you see my reaction when I was out there?
No, I couldn't even look at you.
Okay. I was borderline in tears. Like, that's not me.
Do you not see how it makes me feel though? That fucking sucks, Kenny.
Because obviously she just had up to here, and obviously if your experience in the villa is always like, you know, not being well or perceived like going well, you kind of get fed up, and you know, you kind of been like, you know what, I'll just leave. So she kind of got up to here, and obviously emotions were heightened because she could have easily picked Jacoby or Josiah. It wasn't like, you know, she didn't have options. She had options. So to figure out that she had options, she denied those options, and then she, you know, decided to wear her heart on her sleeve and stay loyal to Kenny, and Kenny brings back a girl. That just felt like, you know, double whammy, because you had two guys waiting for you, and the one guy you picked, you know, played in your face. So obviously her emotions are heightened, she's feeling sad. Like, I don't think Janae's wrong to feel the way she does. I understand that, you know, Kenny also is not wrong from doing what he does, but you know, she can feel how she can feel. I don't think Kenny's wrong for exploring his connection. I just feel like, you know, it's a lot of things going on right now. Anyway, they had a conversation. The conversation was giving telenovela. Like, I was just like, oh, okay. It was giving, like, you know, something about if they can spin the block, they can return back to each other. I don't know, because she was like, I'm gonna leave, or, you know, I'm gonna go, like, I'm done, da 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 da. And he's like, he basically like suggested that he would leave with her, leave too. And I'm just like, what's going on?
We want to see you happy. It's obviously her that you want to go be happy with, so go be happy.
But, like, did I have, like...
You should focus on her. I can't do this anymore. If you
I
thought our
don't-
connection was strong enough,
Like,
you would've...
I don't think I want to be here. Then, like,
No, go. You chose her. Go choose her. You don't want to be with me, because if you did, you would have just thought twice. Like, why didn't you think that through?
So she basically kind of like ended it, or she basically just like opted herself out of the situation, because she's like, I'm not gonna be second fiddle. I'm not gonna be a second choice. Like, you know what? If you have two options, I'll just take myself out of it. Like, you can be with Catherine, have fun with Catherine. He still wants to kind of explore or like just see, but I feel like he already knows that Janae is the better choice. But Janae already kind of like forced it and basically said that he should be with Catherine. So he's kind of like not wanting that to be the case, but Janae's kind of like, she doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to hear it at all. So she kind of like gave him a hug and then like walked off, and he was like still talking, which is kind of hilarious. So then he like goes down, he's like distraught, he crying. So then Serena and Leah comes in, and like they start comforting him because he's crying. He's like breaking down. He's like, oh, he's literally said it, she's leaving. And then they tell her that she's not leaving. And then after that, we basically hear Leah say that, you know, it's not fair, Kenny, sorry, Kenny, da da da. And I just kind of feel like in that moment, you should have just still, you know, stuck with your girl Janae, and just like, you know, if you're gonna comfort him, but don't say it's not fair, because now you're making Janae feel like to be the bad guy for making him cry.
I'm so sorry, Kenny. This is not fair.
Like, Janae has feelings too, and I feel like in this sense he did her dirty. So in this sense, why are you comforting Kenny, saying that Kenny is not fair Kenny? That's why I'm just kind of confused. Because the thing is, before this even happened, she was like, Leo's mediating the conversation between Kenny and Kordell, basically telling them how it was messed up, how Janae and Leah basically all the girls stayed loyal to their guys. You know, only one guy made it back from Casa Amor, which was Kane. Like, you know, what they said, they had all these guys and they could have picked them, but they sent them all home. Lee was basically trying to mediate the situation, whatnot, and basically like let the guys know how they messed up. And I'm just like, you went from that to like comforting Kenny, basically saying like it's not fair, basically like kind of like saying like, you know, Janae is kind of like wrong for making you feel this way. And she's like, oh, you guys only been coupled up for 2 days and da 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 da. So I'm just like, Leah, you shouldn't have said that. But you know, I granted it, she is right, because obviously, but I'm just like, you stayed single for Miguel, knowing good and well that Miguel was messing around in Casa. So I'm confused how you know you're okay with Miguel doing his thing, but you're mad because Janae is kind of like taking it a little bit more harder than you are with how Kenny brought a girl back from Casa. Like, I don't know. It was just a bit weird. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, hold her too much for that, but it was a bit weird for doing that. Anyways, you know, KylerB basically told the girls that she folded, which, you know, the girls were just like, you know, you said it, but not me. Like, you're kind of weak with that. Weak in the knees. Next thing you know, the guys are making the girls breakfast. And the sleeping arrangements was kind of funny because Kyler and Aaron actually slept out in soul ties. Janae slept outside even though she had her own bed to herself. It was just like, it was sleeping arrangements was just like, okay. I just felt like, you know, Kenny really liked Janae. But granted, Janae was like, she kind of excluded herself from the situation, so maybe off of that heightened situation and all that stuff that's going on, she probably just like, you know, he probably just like, you know, let me just stick with Catherine for night. I don't know. But anyway, the guys made the girls breakfast, and then tell me why Sierra was crying because Miguel didn't make her breakfast. Miguel comes 2 minutes later with breakfast. Like, also, Kordell makes breakfast, and he makes breakfast for Dia and Serena. And Serena was like, no, I don't want it. Get that away from me. I don't want that. He drops it off to Dia. Then he tried to give it to Serena. And Serena basically just folded it back to his body. And obviously...
Serena!
Well, this is for you.
I don't want that shit.
I get it.
Get it out of my face.
The breakfast spilled on him, which was kind of savage, but you know, it is what it is. Like, she told you she didn't want it, and like, you know, you're trying to do a nice gesture, but it is what it is. Anyways, she's, you know, Janae says good morning to Rob and Kordell, and you know, Leah says, oh, that's like crazy that you said good morning to Kordell. But I'm just like, it's not crazy for you to be hugging Kenny, and Kenny's quote unquote Janae's op right now. Like, you can't be saying Kordell is wrong and then like hugging up on Kenny. Like, all the guys are ops right now, essentially, except for Kane. Like, it can't be like that. Is it Uchi Wally or One Mike? You can't just be like doing that. Anyways, after that situation, Miguel actually pulls Leah for a chat, and all the girls were basically like, you know, basically hyping up this whole Leah Miguel chat. And, you know, Leah basically in the chat with Miguel was just saying, you know what, like, you guys were just coupled up for 2 days, and I was just telling Janae the same thing. And I'm just like, you didn't need to bring up Janae in this conversation. Like, yeah, you would stand for what Miguel's doing for you. Because even Miguel in that conversation was just like, I understand how Janae feels. You know, I understand Janae, where she's coming from. And you're like, oh, it's just 2 days. Like, you know, whatever. Like, granted, it's 2 days. But, you know, people are on different wavelengths. And, you know, even Miguel says later on that, you know, Janae wears her heart on her sleeves and whatever. But, you know, it's just different. Like, granted, it could be a little too dramatic, but you know, I'm eating it up. I'm eating it up if they stay on the same plot line. Like, if they stay on the plot line, I'm eating it up. But you know, it is what it is. People are different. You know, people are a little bit more different. So I don't know why Leah's getting at, like, you know, Janae should just get over the fact that, you know, Kenny coupled up and not going to be in that. And the thing is that you're forgetting that the guy that Janae was with, Connor, you messed up that whole situation because you wanted to get to know Connor after Rob and you ended. So you're kind of the reason why Janae is having a hard time in here trusting these dudes. So I'm just like, why are you forgetting that? You're the reason. You and Connor are the reason why Janae is having a hard time in here. Like Coy, he was there like the first 2, 3, 4 days in the villa. But Connor, she was coupled up with him for a good week. Like, let that be known. Couple up from a good week. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very confused why you're upset. You're like thinking that Janae shouldn't have like a say in that. Miguel has been telling Leah in that conversation that it was 90%, you know, Serena, 10% Dia. So when the girls were having a chat, basically catching up on the whole situation, Leah tells that to Serena that, you know, they said it was 90% you, 10% Dia. So when Dia and Serena were having a conversation, she was just like, well, he said this and he said that. And then Dia was like, no, he didn't say none of that. I remember correctly, he said it was 50-50. He was said, like, Kordell said 50-50. He never said no 90-10%. And then in that conversation, you know, basically hearing from Dia that the guys have been telling Serena one thing and basically, you know, Dia another thing, whatever, is a bit, you know, messed up because Dia has been saying how the guys have all been saying how Kordell has been so different, more lighthearted, whatever with you. Even Kendall. When Kendall gets aired out at movie night, it's going to be a movie because Kendall, he hasn't really got his lashings properly. He hasn't really got his lashings. But in that situation, Serena goes off. She like goes off, basically said like, none of you guys are my friends. Like, all you guys are, you know, like, you're whacked because you all lied to me. She walks up to Miguel and Kordell and said that you're a liar. And it was so funny because Miguel and Kordell was just caught off guard. And you know how Miguel with that little do-rag trying to act like he hard, whatever.
Fuck Miguel. Fuck all the boys over there talking y'all shit.
Fuck a ham. Something just happened. What? Serena just popped off.
Miguel, fuck you.
It makes it really hard to breathe.
You're lying. You're a liar as well. Kordell, what the fuck your nappy head ass looking at?
Oh, fuck.
And he like, how am I lying? And like Serena, she wasn't having it at all. She was not having it. So she goes off and she basically tells off the guys. And then I think later on, Kordell's basically like walking after her, talking, like basically having a chat. And he basically kind of like says, like, Serena obviously is number one, D is number two, essentially.
Not even 24 hours to fucking fold. Fold like a fucking pretzel. Stand on
I am standing on. Obviously, I'm admitting what I did. Bro, I could have.
You didn't feel bad about it at all.
I did feel bad about it.
No, you didn't.
What the fuck is you
no,
talking
you
about?
didn't.
Serena, come on now.
You're so disrespectful.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No, you made your choice. That is your choice.
That's not my choice.
That is your choice. I'm glad to know in 3 days that you jeopardized everything that we built for 3 days.
I wanted to explore.
And you did.
Because in that way, it's given plot line. It's like they're going to spin the block in the most struggle type of way. It's going to be spin back. So Serena goes off. She's upset because he basically disrespected her in that whole situation. PPG comforts Serena because, you know, that's their girls, whatever. Also in that situation, in that scene at the little table, tell me why Janae and Kenny sit next to each other and Catherine at the other side of the table. Like, what happened in that conversation? Because how is Janae and Kenny sit next to each other? I mean, hopefully he's not giving friends, but the next night, sit next to each other? I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, seems like, you know, all the girls, you know, been kind of nice to the Casa girls because KylerB walked up with Liv and was like, let's introduce ourselves to the Casa girls. Liv was not really having it. Liv was like, they know me, they know my name. Liv had more, she was standing on her 10 toes more than KylerB was. Because the Casa girls, to be honest, they were all acting some type of way. Like, even Catherine was like, oh, I feel disrespectful that Kenny didn't stood up for me or for picking me. To be honest, if you didn't do what you did in that last day, I don't even think Kenny would probably pick you. To be honest, but he's saying all that bunch of stuff in that conversation, which is like, his mind is all on Janae. But I just don't know if Janae is going to give him the time of day. So we'll have to see about that. Anyways, with that being said, next episode is a Twitter challenge. And people are about to get aired out. Because Twitter challenge really be ruthless. And they basically air people out without even needing movie night. They're going to air people out. But that episode... Ooh, these episodes are just eaten. And then they still told us that the two new bombshells are Harrison and Cassie, which is just like, I don't know what they're gonna do, because the dynamic in the villa is already 2-packed. So how they're gonna enter, Harrison and Cassie coming back to the villa from last season, mind you, for what? As bombshells. But we'll have to see. But anyway, guys, that was episode 24 of Love Island USA. And if you guys like the video, comment down below and let me know your doubts, comments, concerns, and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.